Thank you. Thank you all. Well, I'll make a confession. When I was presented with the opportunity to talk in front of you guys today, and I was told that it was going to be about the comfort zone, I said to the team that I was not very much into it. Not that I was not for talking with you guys, having this conversation. I was absolutely delighted. But that when I listen to people talking about the comfort zone, I always feel that like they are talking about limitations. That's one thing. And also, on the other hand, frankly, I don't know much about the comfort zone. I was raised without the comfort zone concept. This concept was coined in 2009. And by 2009, I was in my early 30s. I had lived in several cities, countries, continents. I was mother of 4 already. So, actually, the first time I heard about the comfort zone, I thought that they were talking about something like this. I'm not into cats, not into tea, so this is not really my thing, is it? So, but I wanted to find out because these days, it seems like we cannot manage our lives without an understanding on how to manage our comfort zone. So maybe I was missing something. I was not being able to manage my life properly, so I needed to find out. How do you find out when you don't know about something? What do you do? Yeah, that's what I did. Clever guys. Well, that's not much, is it? I kept on Googling. Well, this I started to like more. We are in a comfort zone, so the place is predictable, is safe, you feel at ease, you don't have to worry about threats or unpleasant surprises. This is something that I want to be in, frankly. I work in finance. For those of you not familiar with finance, let me help you understand a little bit. I will do the Google for you. This is us, the bankers. We work in the financial markets. Financial markets are very much transactional. Somebody sells, some other person wants or entity wants to buy, and we, the bankers, are in the middle, helping them for a fee. It sounds easy, right? Okay, let me Google for you what our market is. So this is how working in finance looks like. So, well, the comfort zone, let us keep on Googling. Oh! Caution. But I thought that this was this. Predictable. Ease. You don't have to worry about nothing. So, Google. What's happened? I kept on Googling. I need to find, there's something missing here. There is a mistake. Oh. So what is happening in this comfort zone that is so dangerous that you need to leave this comfort zone as fast as you can? What is happening? Google. I don't want to get into this, and by no means. But you know what? Maybe I was in the comfort zone because I would feel comfortable. Maybe I was there and I didn't know because I was not that worried about the threats. I was not facing, things that were so unpredictable that were making my life terrible. So maybe I'm in this comfort zone and I haven't noticed that there's something really wrong about this comfort zone. So I need to get out. But how? Google. All right. So now I have what I need. I have a past in venture capital. And with the people in venture capital, when we see things, these models, when we analyze those. So the comfort zone is something that is different from the fear zone, and it's different to also the learning zone, and it's different than your growth zone. Regardless, you still feel happy. That's one conclusion. The second is that you desperately need to get out. So in order to get out, you need to step out from the comfort zone part. Then you will need to get yourself into a fear zone. You will then eventually pass that fear zone, and that will lead you into a learning zone. And after that, you will go into a growth zone you still need to go out from. If you look at the diagram, I really don't know why. Maybe it's a design mistake. But you know what? This, to me, as a former venture capitalist, this business model, it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. Your customer is never going to like to get themselves out from a comfort zone just to get themselves into a fear zone. Not to speak to further going into a learning zone. I mean, who wants that? If you were terribly happy before that, feeling at ease and not being worried about nothing. So this is not flying. So I started to challenge this model. So let's talk about fear. What is the highest fear there is for the humankind? Yeah. I'll say this. But we actually live with death, right? We all are going to die, all of us. I actually very much like the way Steve Jobs put it. Even the people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. Right? So nobody wants to die. It is the highest fear there is for all of us, and yet we live every day our lives and don't kill ourselves or don't get into desperation because we are going to die. So we seem to know how to live with fear. Actually, humanity has been dealing with fear forever. They have been facing the scariest situations in the world. And they have survived, right? So to me, maybe this business model will need to be changed. Maybe the fear zone and the comfort zone could be the same thing. So now let's go to the learning part. Learning works like this. You are in the environment, you pay attention to the environment, information goes to your brain, and eventually it's part of your working brain, the part that you use for functioning, right? For making decisions, for improving, for everything. For that, we have the biggest tool there is, and it is naturally embedded in all of us. What is this? Curiosity, right? the humanity has been curious always. We have been always looking into those things that we didn't know and trying to understand how they worked. Actually, every time there is something that calls our attention because we have not seen that before, what we do is precisely that, seeing, right? We look into that. Right? We need to look into things and see. And that is naturally embedded on us. We don't need to make any effort at all to doing that things. So maybe this other part is also natural in us. It's not a different zone. It's in the same zone that we are. So let's go to growth. And now, let me tell you a little story. This is me in the late 70s. I was in southern England, I was a teenager, and I had been sent to learn English. But there had been a negotiation between my parents and me. I had been there before. I had been sent before to learn English, and I was attending a school. Actually, I was not attending a school. I need to confess that I got me an Italian boyfriend. So I was spending not much time at school. So this very last year of me as a student in the UK, I negotiated with my parents that I will stay for longer, but I really wanted to know what the British way of life was. So I will stay with the family, I will not go to school, and I will just live together with that lovely Brits and learn what the British way of life looks like. This is what my parents thought that I was doing. This is what I was actually doing. After that summer, I was able to speak a fluent working class English. I was able to swear in English like a lorry driver. And I had been dealing with people of all sorts. Trust me, you don't want to hear this part of the story. Later on, when I was at my first job, I was working in a multinational environment. Lots of nationalities, lots of people of different kinds, totally different backgrounds from everywhere you can imagine. And I was barely the only member of the team who was able to understand any kind of English, really, and also who was able to really interact with everybody. And that I learned in my first summer as a free person in England. The rest is history. They have told something about my career, etc. But what I've done in my life, everything I've done professionally speaking, has that in common. The English language, the fluent English, the ability to understand every sort of English, and also the ability to deal with all sorts of persons. I didn't know that I was learning that by the time. But I was curious about something which was the British way of life. And then I got this brick that helped me build a bigger building afterwards. This is what humanity has been doing forever. Using knowledge, using experience, using curiosity as a tool for development, for progress, for achievement. One brick leads to the other. And nobody needs to think twice about it. Because we all have that ability to incorporate, to add up what we learn to the next things that we are going to do in the future. So, back to the business plan, guys. I will say this, and this flies to me. This is exactly what I want to relay to you today. This is my quick guide on how to master the comfort zone. Sit back, relax, enjoy, be as curious as you can, and things will come. Thank you.